Hi everyone, Devotii here, back on Trials Evolution Gold, taking a look at Activate by Max60. This track was originally on the Xbox and has been covered by Mike B on Will It Donkey. But I'm not going to be able to do that because no thank you. I don't want to just absolutely facepalm so hard. I mean, he barely finished that track on the donkey. I'd love to see him try it again on the PC version. Eh, Mike? Yeah, thank you. Next week I expect that. So, on Activate, the whole objective is to hit these little pressure pads, and once they go from red to blue, a new pathway opens up beneath you, or anywhere. It might just pop up. You'll see. So, as you can see here, on this one there was one left. I managed to hit the first two, but this last one was just, it was difficult. I think it was just because of how angular the ramps were, rather than smooth. If they were smooth, I'd be able to kind of keep my momentum as I go in. But just how angular they are, it kind of slows you down. Just barely missed that top one there with the front wheel. The strategy for this one was to just keep, basically I was pressing right on the, pressing right on the joystick, or whatever they're called on the Xbox controller. I was keeping it right to try and keep my front wheel as close to that vertical as I possibly could. I tried all different speeds and things as well, and eventually I think I was just lucky to get it. See, the first two are no problem really, and there I managed to get the first one and the pathway opens up. This next obstacle again was hard, and I'm just flipping out here. It was so hard, I just decided to flip out. This was my first run through that I recorded. For some reason I decided to just record my first ever run through on this track, and as you'll see it took some time. I couldn't get it with my head. If I got it with my head I crashed. I mean, I managed to get those two on the way down, and I could just go back and redo it because I didn't crash. This next obstacle requires a bit of thought. You have to go up these ramps and do a backflip and hit them, and you have to be careful not to have too much momentum on the way down that you will just fall off the edge. Well, fall off the end if you go all the way down. Like here, if I fell off the edge there, it would have been a crash and I would have had to redo it. But luckily I managed to keep myself upright, and these weren't too difficult, but as you can see I have like 92 faults. Now this is where we get rolling, you know, on these wheels that move. It's a bit of a hassle to get used to. It does take some time. See, you have to stay on top of them and hit all 4 pressure pads, and then be able to jump onto the next one before jumping off again onto a platform. I tried everything, that just didn't work. The best way is to just stay on top, give it a little bit of gas, and as you roll round kind of naturally, you need to be in the right position to be able to have the momentum to jump onto the next wheel. As you can see there, I kept the momentum, and then here you need momentum again to get onto the ledge, but I didn't have it that time. I stared at these spinning disc jumps for ages. Eventually they just looked like a big mush kind of on my screen, you know, when you get so tunnel visioned. I couldn't for some reason do them. And as you can see here, I'm approaching the 30-minute limit, and I do eventually get over these right here, see? And then this next obstacle I have like 20 seconds left, and yeah, I'm in a kind of rush here, so I just go up and what? I just get flipped. Ah, come on, you need to test these kind of things. This happens on the original, except it comes in the other way and you don't get pushed up. So here I ran out of time because I was in a kind of rush and fluster. But I went back through and decided to just get to the other bit as quick as possible without recording, because I'd realised I'd just been recording for half an hour. So here I did the first obstacle I had trouble with in 30 seconds with no faults. Whereas before, wow, I had 35 faults in just under 10 minutes. I decided to keep filming because I had 0 faults, like, in 30 seconds, and did the obstacle that I had trouble with. But it didn't work out, so I just turned off fraps. I managed to do it again in about a minute with only 3 faults on this one obstacle, which was a lot better compared to the last run through where I had 74 faults in about 15 minutes. So I would say I made it look a lot harder than it was the first time round. And the second time round it's a bit of cake, unless your bike just likes to flip. I don't know why my bike was flipping so much. I get to these wheels with 16 faults and 4 minutes in, whereas last time it was a lot worse, and I kind of just, not first time do it, but I did it. And here I know that it's going to flip me, so I go really slow, and then from here onwards it's all fresh. You have to hit your front wheel and your back wheel on both of these points, and if you miss them you can't go back and do it. It has to be a fault. Like here, I missed that top one and it's a fault. So I hit them both and then go down here and crash. But there's two hidden, you can barely see them right there. And you hit those and then you build up the momentum to hit these two. Now you can go back once you're down there. I missed them that time. And when you do go back, how can that happen? What are the chances? So here, you have to hit these two on the way down. Keep the momentum to be on the bottom and hit those two. There's 2 there. You can go back luckily and redo those because you don't crash when you land. And that opens up the next pathway. And this bit is all about speed. You can't go too fast and you can't go too slow. You have to get it just right and try not to fall off the end. So you hit those 2 and then it's the same again. You have to go at the right speed, get your front wheel and your back wheel on them to just tag them. This jump's fairly simple, and then you have these ramps again with the backflips. However, there's 2 points on each one, and you have to keep your front wheel nice and close to hit that one on the way up, and then you can just re-go back and do that before face planting quite heavily into, you just land and keep going. This obstacle gave Mike B some hassle on the donkey, and yeah, I can see why. 250cc is a lot easier, as he has said in his video, but it did mess me about a little bit. This was maybe the hardest, but in reality it is fairly simple. It's just one jump to the next. I think on the Xbox version the jumps up are a lot higher, and then, look at this. Right at the end, 10 minutes in with 56 faults. Oh, I got bronze. You thought I was going to crash, didn't you? So, I just wanted to showcase this track and say it is now on PC and you should definitely give it a go. Please do subscribe to this channel and leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please go share with Mike B. I want him to donkey this on the PC. Come on, Mike. Please. See you next time.